Ben CB is the best poker coach in the game. Get his advice at RaiseYourEdge.com. Sign up today. The Wynn Saturday $225 buy-in, $200 rebuy, $25K guaranteed. Lowest rake, best structure on the strip. We should be taking this baby down around 2 or 3 a.m. A long day ahead of us. No bag and tag possible. Just about $10,000 waiting for us at the finish line. Stay focused, make good decisions, and win all the chips. With blinds at 75, 150, a woman opens the cutoff to 400. We're on the button with king, queen offsuit. Could 3-bet, but let's just keep the pot small. Gain some edge post flop. Put in the call. Both the blinds call. The flop comes ace, king, 5 with 2 spades. We have the king of spades. Action checks to us on the button. Could put in a small value bet here, but we elect to check. The turn is the 8 of spades, giving us the nut flush draw and second pair, queen kicker. Everyone checks to us again, so it's time to go for value. 650 is the bet. The small blind, an elderly gentleman, puts in a check raise to 1650. 1,000 more. When people do this, it is a huge sign of strength. Not only the delayed check raise, but when the sizing is one big chip more than your bet, or an even number, they're really trying to incentivize your call. Make it easy on you emotionally and mathematically to give them some action. Everyone folds to me, and I don't like this situation. I'm not sure what he's repping. Maybe a small flush, maybe a turn set. But I think our hand's a little bit too strong, and we put in the call in position. The river is the 3 of clubs, and he checks. At this point, I'm putting him on something like aces up. Maybe I could overbet jam the river with the nut flush blocker, get him to fold. But we decided to just check it back in case he was semi-bluffing with a straight and flush draw. He shows ace king offsuit for top 2, and we're down to 8,000 chips from 10K starting. With blinds at 75, 150, under the gun plus 2 limps. We're in the cutoff with queen, jack of spades, so we make it 500. Same guy on my left puts in the call. Big blind calls and limper calls were 3 ways to a flop. The flop comes king, 7, 5 with the 7, 5 of spades. Action checks to us. Definitely could check here, but I think I'm going to take the lead and try to take it down. So we bet 800. Guy on my left calls, and a big blind check raises small to 2,000. Limper folds and actions to us. We have about 6,000 behind. Does he have a ace high flush draw? Does he have a set? What's our best plan of action with the queen high flush draw? No real overs. Pretty dicey spot, but for 1,200, I think we're getting the right price. We put in the call. Guy behind us also calls, and we're 3 ways to a turn. The turn is the 6 of spades, a great card, seemingly. Big blind now checks. Makes me think he has something like 2 pair or a set, and now he's afraid of the flush. With 5,200 behind, we want to bet small to get value from all worse flushes and 2 pair combos, so we bet 2,000. Guy on my left makes it my exact stack, 5,200. Big blind then shoves for 11,000. I have 3,200 behind. Can I fold the queen high flush? It is a rebuy tournament, and yeah, it's not looking good, but we stick it in. Guy on my left then folds for 6,000 more. Later claims he has the ace of spades. Big blind shows pocket 7s for a set. Let's hope the board doesn't pair. 23K pot. The river is the 9 of clubs, and we win. We have 23,000. 30,000 chips, coming back to 150, 300 with a 25 ante, last level of rebuy period, in for 225 with a 10% mutual swap. With blinds at 200, 400 with a 50 ante, action folds to the cutoff, who happens to be a shady looking French guy with Prada sunglasses, a scarf, eye level wrapped around his head, and earbuds. He raises to 800. We're on the button with the jack 8 of clubs. Could 3-bet, but I think a flat call is a little bit better, being suited with position. The big blind comes along. The flop comes 9, 8, 3, 2 clubs. Beautiful flop for our hand. Action checks to the Frenchman, who bets 1100. Could raise here, but we're gonna, play in position, play various runouts. So we put in the call, and the big blind folds. The turn is a 5, 6, 7 gets there, and he bets 3,000. I started the hand with about 25,000. He had about 40,000, and we put in the call. The river's the king of hearts. He was barreling with ace king. He got there. He goes into the tank and puts out a 12,000 chip bet, very large bet. So he's repping a polarized range of misdraws or 2 pair plus, possibly ace king. The problem with our hand is that we block his missed flush draws, and the jack in our hand blocks a lot of his missed straight draws. Jack 7, Jack 10, and Queen Jack. So it's less likely he has those holdings. We don't like the guy, but that doesn't mean we're not gonna just put in the spike call and get 12,000 more chips. With our pair of 8s, we make the fold. An hour later, after he was jubilant about winning another big pot, he revealed that he had pocket 9s. Could be lying, but I think he's probably telling the truth. People usually don't lie in retrospect on hands like that. So we make a good fold. We're on second break, and we've chipped up to 25,000, going to 400, 800. With blinds at 300, 600, we have ace jack suited under the gun plus 2. 11,000 chips in our stacks. We make it 1,500 to go. 2.5x, a little bit bigger than normal, but showing that we mean business. Action folds to the small blind, a local reg. Makes it 4,500. He's well aware of my stack size, so he's committed with this raise. I'd range him at ace jack plus, pocket 8s plus. Against this range, we cannot profitably continue, and I make a disciplined laydown, going down to about 15 big blinds. Raise folding, ace jack suited. I love poker. With blinds at 600, 1,200 with a 100 ante. Folds us in middle position. I have 23,000 chips and king 10 offsuit, so I raise it up to 2,500. Both blinds call. The flop comes king jack 4. Great flop for our hand. Should have the best hand here, so they check to me, and I put in a bet of 3,500. The small blind calls and the big blind calls. Pot's a brewing. Let's see what happens on the turn. Turn is a king. We got trips. Small blind looks excited and shoves all in. What hands is he repping that beat me? I'm not sure, but
it's like 40.
The big blind goes in the tank and puts in the call. 16,500 all in and a call. We have about 18,500 behind. So we put in the call. Let's see what happens on the river. The river's a deuce. Big blind checks, and we stand to have the best hand. So let's get that extra bit of value. Shove all in 4, 2,500, and he calls. Small blind has Queen Jack offsuit. Big blind has King Deuce offsuit. Our 10 kicker plays. We get a full triple up, sitting on 70,000. What'd you think? Just because I'm walking to the garage that I busted? We're on dinner break. Sitting on 85,000. About to hop in a little PLO game. Eat some delicious food from Jardine or Wazuzu. Let's finish out strong. With blinds at $1, $2 with a $5 bring-in, we're dealt in under the gun and we look down at King, Queen, Jack 10 with 1 suit. One of the best hands you can get in pot limit Omaha. Our plan is to limp re-raise, old school style, with our $200 stack. So we put in the call. One more call under the gun plus 2 makes it 30. There's 2 calls of the $30 and action gets back around to us. Perfect spot to pot it to 160. Over limper folds. Guy who made it 30 just calls. Other guy folds and the big blind calls. So now there's $500 in the pot and we have $40 behind. Some dead money in there. The flop does not come good for us. All low cards, but we still put in our $40. Both players call. No one chooses to ISO, which would have been a good thing in this situation. The turn and the river are checked, and the hands are shown. We were up against King, Jack 10, 9, which we had crushed, and King, Queen 5 deuce, King Jack 5 deuce, a horrible hand in Omaha. Let's see the odds of these 3 hands pre-flop.
She was doing 80 and she slammed on the brakes.
Pot?
Good, Jay. Thank you very much. 55, New York City. Repot.
We reload, fresh 200 stack. There's a limp under the gun, a raise to 10, and a call. We're in middle position with King, King, Jack 9 double suited, another top 10 hand in pot limit Omaha, so we're going to play aggressively with our $200 stack on dinner break here and make it pot, which is $55. We get 1 call, and then the small blind says repot. That usually means aces, but we're not going to fold double suited kings. The other players fold. We're all in for 200, and the other person behind us who put in the cold 55 folds. And this is what happens.
All right.
You got the aces? Of course you got the aces.
You have the kings? Because I just folded 2 kings if you have the kings.
That's a problem. Just once.
Yeah, I had 2 kings.
Just once, yeah.
One time, guys?
I got black cards.
All right, one time.
I could hit some black cards. There's 2 black cards. There's another black card. Oh, no.
Deuces full of
Pretty.
I had the red kings.
You had the red.
Damn it. Cooler.